Hello everyone, we will talk about extinction today. Extinction is a procedure and a concept that occurs when reinforcement of a previously reinforced behavior is discontinued. As a result, the frequency of that behavior decreases in the future. Extinction is a procedure that provides zero probability of reinforcement, so we will withhold reinforcement. So for example, if a student's problem behavior such as interruptions is maintained by teacher's attention, which is the reinforcer, the teacher can apply the extinction procedure by ignoring the student's interruptions. And the procedure can produce a decrease in the frequency of the interruptions. Remember that the extinction procedure does not prevent occurrence of a problem behavior. Rather, the environment is changed so that the problem behavior no longer produced reinforcement. Extinction is often misunderstood and misused in applied behavior analysis. However, just remember that extinction is a technical term that applied behavior analysts and practitioners should use only to identify the procedure of withholding reinforcers that maintain behavior. Many people think that extinction equals to ignoring, but we just talked about the definition of extinction. Extinction is a procedure of withholding reinforcers that maintain behavior. So ignoring can be part of extinction, but there are so many other ways to to use extinction depending on the function of behavior. So the first example, behaviors maintained by positive reinforcement are placed on extinction when those behaviors do not produce the reinforcer. For example, if a student's problem behavior is maintained by teacher's attention, the teacher can withhold his attention when the behavior happens. So this is a form of ignoring. Second example, behaviors maintained by negative reinforcement are placed on extinction, also known as escape extinction, when those behaviors do not produce a removal of the aversive stimulus, meaning that the person cannot escape from the aversive situation.
It's always important to assess the function of a behavior so that we can develop an intervention plan that makes sense. Many inappropriate behaviors may serve the function of an escape or an avoidance to a work demand. Escape extinction is the process of withholding access to the reinforcer following an inappropriate response. It's important to remember that many different types of behaviors can surface when trying to avoid a task. Examples of the behavior can range from crying, tantruming, throwing the work materials. In order to make sure the responses do not occur in the future, we must follow through. Following through, such as providing full prompts, withholding access to the reinforcer, or not allowing departure from a workspace, are important strategies to utilize.
As described in the previous slide, if a problem behavior, such as self-injurious behavior, is maintained to escape from task situation, a teacher can use escape extinction to diminish the problem behavior that occurs while a student works on a task. So now we know that the task evokes the highest rates of problem behavior, so teacher can provide instructional prompts during the task, and when the students immediate problem behaviors following the instructional prompts, the teacher can physically guide him to task completion. So escape extinction can produce a significant reduction in problem behaviors during the task. So this is the third example. Behaviors maintained by automatic reinforcement are placed on extinction, also known as sensory extinction, by masking or removing the sensory sequence. Extinction linked to automatic reinforcement is not a recommended treatment option for problem behaviors, even self-stimulatory behaviors that are maintained by social consequences or negative reinforcement. Automatic reinforcement, however, can maintain self-injurious behavior and persistent self-stimulatory behavior such as flipping fingers, head rocking, toe walking, and hair pulling. For example, researchers reported that a 19-year-old man with profound disability had poked his eyes for 12 years, which resulted in visual impairment in both eyes. And the researcher figured out that the function of eye poking is self-stimulation. And when the researcher used goggles to mask contact with his eyes, eye poking behaviors decreased. When you use extinction, you can expect several different extinction effects. The one I want to introduce is extinction burst. A general effect of the extinction procedure is an immediate increase in the frequency of the problem behavior after the removal of the positive, negative, or automatic reinforcement. It's called extinction burst to define the initial increase in the response, the problem behavior frequency. Which means if a teacher withhold a reinforcer, the problem behavior, the intensity of problem behavior or frequency of problem behavior can increase immediately before it gets better. So example here, if a student's screaming is maintained to get teacher's attention, and if the teacher start to withhold the reinforcer, which is teacher's attention, the intensity or frequency of problem behavior will increase immediately before it goes down because the student has used the screaming to get teacher's attention and it worked, right? So if it does not work because teacher withhold the reinforcer, the student will emit intensive screaming behavior to get teacher's attention. So she or he will scream more and more, but eventually as the teacher consistently withhold the reinforcer, the student will learn that the screaming cannot guarantee the reinforcer, which is teacher's attention. So behavior goes down.